On the night of prom, they decided to go to a party, and they got a little bit drunk. We're on camera, and we're friends.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Hey, it's Coco.
And Momo.
So today we're going to talk to you about part 3 of our high school paranormal experience.
3.
This part of the video is about the information we found out about the ghost in the dark room after it happened. So about 6 months after this happened, I was working full-time at a flower shop, and one of my coworkers and I liked telling ghost stories to each other, and he happened to go to our high school 10 years before us. And I was getting ready to tell him a story about something that happened in our dark room, and I was like, yeah, there were actually like a bunch of different spirits, and it's this really weird thing. And he was like, hold on 1 second. And I was like, okay. And he goes, were there 5 of them? And I was just like, because there were. So he told me what happened to them and how they died, and it actually kind of lined up with how the ghost looked. And yeah, he said he did the funeral work and everything for them. And then afterwards, I went back and I talked to a teacher at the school, and she kind of confirmed that, but I'll tell you that a little later on.
So the story, it goes, so there was 5 kids, 2 were boys, 3 were girls. So on the night of prom, they decided to go to a party, and they got a little bit drunk, I'd say more than tipsy, and the girl decided that she wanted to go home and she didn't want to call her parents, but she didn't want to drive. So she convinced her boyfriend to do it for her.
And he had driven 3 other people additionally to the party.
So they all had to drive home together. And the 2 of the girls and 2 of the boys, they were both couples, and then the girl was the third wheel, which sucks. And so, sorry. And so the girl, obviously, the third wheel really didn't want to go, because, I mean, if you shouldn't. If someone's drinking and they decide to drive home and you drove with them, please just call your parent or a friend. Uber, yeah. Taxi, or, I mean, just anyone. Just don't drive drunk, no matter how old you are. Just don't do it. And so they all got in the car and they started to drive.
So the guy was already hesitant, and one of the girls had been fighting him about, like, you really shouldn't be driving, but his girlfriend really wanted to go home, so he was like, you know what, let's do this. They hopped in his car, they started driving down this really, like, popular road that's known for accidents in our area. It's very hilly and steep and lots of woods and stuff around, and he passed out or fell asleep, not 100% sure on that, while he was driving with his foot on the pedal, and the car was an older model and didn't have like a max where it taps out. And so he hit a tree, went over a hill, hit a tree. When they hit the tree, 4 of them died on impact. The driver survived to the hospital where he died a few days later. He was paralyzed waist down, and he was the one that we had seen in the revolving door where his lower torso was fading in and out. And then the girl who didn't want to go, we believe, is the dark, like, ooze that we had been told about, and she was apparently beheaded from the
from the sunroof.
Yes. So then there was nothing really, like, significant about the other ones, but we did find out that one of them was a cheerleader, which actually plays into this next part. And apparently when they died, they were like the more popular kids in school, so they had a huge funeral for them, and there was also a lot of hatred because a lot of the parents were mad that the one boy had driven home. So I decided to contact my teacher to validate this kid's story that he had told me. I contacted my old teacher, who's one of my favorite teachers. I'm not going to say her name or subject because I don't want to get her in trouble for anything, but I went into school and I had lunch with her one day, and I told her everything. I told her what happened in the dark room, what I had been told by my coworker, and she said, I do remember a really tragic accident. I don't believe that I was teaching those students, so I don't particularly remember those students, except for one cheerleader that I did have who died, and I don't recall how she died. She used to sit in this chair, and she pointed to a chair across the room, and she said that every now and then when she's grading her papers, the chair would scoot in and out. In and out. And she would have stuff like ruffle around, and then the chair would scoot back in. And she would say like, "Hi, Brittany," or something like that was her name. And the chair would scoot back out, and then it would be quiet for a while. So she fully believes that that could have happened, and that the cheerleader that she remembered passing and believed was in her classroom could have been connected to it, because our school was known to have a few people like roaming the halls. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything.
And I think our school is pretty unlucky. I mean, maybe most schools are like this, but it seemed that every year at least one student would die.
Yeah,
so that was...
For the longest time, they believed that like every 2 years someone would die in a car accident nearby, and then usually in between there'd be a tragedy. Like I remember when we went there, someone died right out front of the school in a car accident, and then the next year we had someone die in a rock climbing accident. The year after that it was a car accident nearby but not as close to the school, and then the following year, didn't someone have like a heart attack when they were playing basketball?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he was very in shape, and
it was all very tragic and very unexpected.
All of them.
Yeah, it was very sad. But life goes on, and you just remember them and try and keep them alive as best as you can. None of us were that close with them, but from time to time I do think about them and just try and live my life to the fullest so that we could honor their memory.
So if you like the series so far, please make sure you subscribe and follow along with us. We're definitely going to be looking more into this, and we're hoping to eventually start interviewing people and having them tell us our stories, as well as going out and checking out some sites from local stories. The next few videos that we have are going to be us telling local tales, like stories that have been passed on from our parents type of thing from this area.
And folklores.
Yes.
More to come. And we are very excited, and we hope that you really enjoy this content, because we really enjoy doing it. So hopefully you guys like to watch and listen. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to go. Don't forget, if you like this, please subscribe and hit that notification button so you can be notified whenever we have a new video. Momo out.